Looks like I got all the notifications there.
Okay, I'm looking at the LinkedIn feed. I don't see it here. Let's see.
Oh, it should pop up. It's going to be a bit of time delay there, and also kill your audio on any of your other devices. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So last test of the week before we kick our event off tomorrow. We wanted to jump online here, other than test the full stream out to all of the channels, and we wanted to just have a quick chat with Mr. Tom here, our business development manager. Tom and I had a bit of history there prior to him joining us here with Rig Lynx. He invited me to do a chat one night with a nonprofit group here locally in Houston called Nomads, and since then we've moved on to bigger and better things since that little chat and discussion. So the world's a bit different than what it was whenever we first met. So it's changed the landscape of kind of what we do. But so Tom, how things been since January with us?
Interesting. It's been a lot of fun, doing this, getting on customers, helping with their social media presence, and growing their influence, and kind of understanding the kind of the art and the science behind social media. And we're able to get people in these companies that get them in front of a lot more people in the oil and gas industry than they can on their own, and get them the exposure they need, get them the views, get them the looks they need. And it's learning to build videos, learning to build memes. That's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's really been a blast. Oh wow, we're getting some people on here.
Yeah, it's always whenever you're sharing information about the industry, we have a lot of very creative and colorful people in this in this field. So it's whatever part of the industry you're in, whether it's in operations, whether it's in production, you always have some of the greatest people that you'll ever meet, and they stick with you, and the conversations that you have with these people. So it's just like any good social media, good social media sticks with you, and so does bad social media. So it never goes away,
Yeah. So much as Louis L'Amour meets JD Rockefeller. It's just been a blast. Yeah, been a lot of fun.
So so tell me, well, I mean, we've had multiple different conversations. So it looks like we've got a few people online there. We got Louisiana, we've got Calgary, we've got looks like Rio is dialing in there. We've got
Brazil.
Pecos. We've got a lot of good people coming in. Yep.
Como vai?
Yeah. And look, we got Wayne County. There's nothing in this world more oil field.
All right.
In Wayne County, Mississippi. So.
And Perth. Oh, there you go. Wow.
Perth, Australia. Indonesia. Yep. So see, this is why we wanted to do this event, because we're connected to, 250, 300,000 people on all these different platforms around the world. And this is, this is why we wanted to do this event, because it's not every day where, people can travel and go to, whether it's an open house or whatever it is. And so people can jump on right here and engage with the people speaking, and the especially with LinkedIn. LinkedIn's our largest platform by far. It's basically doubles what we have for Facebook and Instagram. So the ability to reach people in the industry is massive here. And it's, when they granted us the live feature, I went back and forth thinking about, it was, and this application process that LinkedIn's got is wild, but, went back and forth with those guys 4 or 5 times. And, they said we needed to build our following up more, and I was like, what? I was like, what?
Yeah, we
So,
have compared to some of the other pages already have.
by the way, you're still not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Really?
absolutely. Yeah, we've got Saigon now, and we've got Midland, Jakarta. Yeah, so it's people coming in from everywhere. Ghana. That's
Wow.
great. That's great. That's great. So yeah, Tom, tell me. Tell me, other than just kind of the day-to-day stuff, what's the most engaging content that you've been using with some of the clients?
Well, pretty much a lot of things has been doing some of the videos. So that's been getting a lot of people to come in and get some message across. It improves engagement, and building the videos is a lot of fun. I admit it. It's fun to get in there and put all this stuff together, and get it together for customers and get it up. And setting up things that pique people's interest, where they want to get in and talk and have a little back and forth, a little dialogue, and help advance some of the advance the industry, get the thought process going, get some of these thought leaders out there, to get them to get in front of people. So that's been a lot of fun.
So other than being a spokesperson for people with full heads of hair, what have you been finding to do with your spare time since COVID-19?
Hunting and fishing. Yeah. Deer season started. I got a nice sized doe opening weekend.
Man, saw that. It was nice.
Yeah. Can't wait to get that from the processor. I got to go up and get that. So that's a lot of fun. It was really getting to go opening weekend. I'm used to going later in the season. So going opening weekend, it was weird being warm. I'm used to being up in a deer stand, losing feeling in my toes and stuff like that. And kind of wait. You got to get in that deer stand at the beginning and kind of wait for it to, your things to warm up a little. But yeah, it's that walk out there when you're losing your feeling in your toes. That's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
When it comes to the feeder.
I remember, my oldest one, I say oldest, he's 24 now, and he works for H&P in East Texas. And I remember the first time I took him in the stand with me, it was about 5. It was just a little bit after 5, and we had about, it was about a 2.5 mile walk down the pipeline, right? And I remember hearing him shiver. And he had his hood all the way up and pulled all the way down, but you could hear his teeth chattering, and you could hear it actually, like echoing. It was chattering so bad,
Yeah.
And I felt kind of rough in the very beginning. I was thinking, like, what kind of dad brings his kid out here in the middle of the night, and he seemed to be honestly freezing to death. But 30 minutes into being in the stand, he was sound asleep. So I realized at that point in time that the feelings that I had were not valid, because he jumped right in there. We had a little canister with the kind of the pocket heat in it, and he was just like out. Sun came.
Good.
Exactly. Good. Sun came up, and he was the elbow in the side. Hey, get up. Here's sun's coming up. You need to get up here. Look out the window. It's just
wake up. Yeah, see what's coming. That's a lot of fun.
These my daughter was a little bit different than my oldest son, but it was a blast.
Yeah, I took my eldest daughter out there, and I don't know if she was really getting into it, because we're sitting in the stand, and all of a sudden she decides to start belting out the chorus to Annie. And I'm like, shh, baby, there are deer here. Stop talking. And she just started giggling. It it kind of digressed from there. It did not go well. It was not. You got to laugh, It's yeah. So
Well, I mean, it's the after that, then they have other moments to take up for the singing in the middle of the morning moments and running off all the animals. So
yeah. She's singing and all the deer are looking up to see who's singing
Yeah.
and then run off. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, good memories. Yeah.
So what obviously we manage a lot of content, but the you said the video, the engagement with video, what makes it more engaging than a photo or just typical text? So I mean, I have a few things in mind, but you're the content guy, so.
Well, first thing, like with LinkedIn, just the algorithms written around to be, happier with video. So it's going to, the way the algorithm's written, it's going to give natively uploaded video more precedence. It's going to give it more exposure, and it gets you can get people into the story. You can get them into the, kind of what's going on, and and having the text there, it just gives it a little more exciting than a still photo. Not that anything's wrong with still photo. I do a lot of those kind of memes, but
Yeah.
Having the video, you can also add music. You can you've got action. It just can be a little more engaging.
So the one thing about from my side, the one thing about video is video can be you can break it down into everything. You can break it down into text. You can transcribe it down into text. You can rip photos out of video. You can also do short clips out of longer videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's a so the way I look at video is like the main core, right? And then everything else comes out of video. You can create multiple different pieces of content out of video, and I mean the thing about engagement in social media is it's wild because some of the people don't even have like profile photos that are engaging with your media,
right?
And you'll see where some people are more obviously introvert, extrovert. People like to talk and discuss or whatever, but they engage with media on a whole different level than their neighbor does, or the next person that scrolls by. But basically, what with the video, you have about 3 seconds to stop them from scrolling.
Right.
So you have to stop the scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and get them interested at the beginning. You got to get the I forgot the term, but that first few seconds, there's a term in social media training for that. The grab or something. I've heard different, that's, you got to get them that first few seconds. If not, you start off lame at the beginning, people will, their eyes glaze over and they keep going. So
kind of like this live video.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been we started talking about doing this event. I guess it's been about two and a half months ago. And I mean, we put a poll out on LinkedIn about kind of what people wanted to see, and through the live feature on Rig Lynx for LinkedIn, and it's obviously a bit different here, going live on LinkedIn, going live on Facebook, and going live on YouTube. There's different. I'm not much of a gamer anymore, so I think it makes for a the people that don't have the ability to have the equipment or to set things up. I think if you have a talent, you should use it for the greater good. And so that's basically exactly what this is going to be used for, is for the benefit of people that don't have access to those features or can't use those features for all intensive purposes, anybody can do a live video, but the facilitating it, getting the content for it, and staging it and planning it is the big part of it.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel fortunate enough that we've been given the ability to go live on LinkedIn, and I have a lot of plans for different events and different things. But man, it's just fitting it all in and shaking it out of your head like a shaker and trying to grab the pieces in the end when it's coming off. But it's but yeah, I think
get it all online, get it all figured out.
Yeah. So walk us through kind of like the beginning process whenever you're speaking with clients and we're getting them ramped up and getting them started. And of course, I mean, I'm involved in that process as well. But kind of step us through how you kind of typically bring a client on board and start managing some of their social media and some of their different content.
Well, they try and get an idea of the message they want to get out, what they want to do, what their goal is. And everyone in social media, they're trying to get more, become the, become the expert, become the people that people come to, and for your stuff, and trying to figure out the best way to do that message that they're okay with, and then also, it also works with what'll work on social media, what works best with the algorithms. Because like, for example, LinkedIn, I like to separate the post, because I like to go, okay, one here, and then let it spend some time out there, and then do the next one, and then do the next one, to give some space in there, and to get the hashtags correctly, get everything correct, and to do, because you want to kind of speak with one voice. You want to have the same kind of message for that customer. You want to come in because you're speaking for them. We're their voice on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. And so we need to be able to speak for them and get that out there. And also, and of course, the whole main objective is to drive more customers to them.
Yeah. So you're a client advocate, basically. Yeah.
Wow, we've got a lot of people.
No, that's great. That's great. I'm glad that there's a lot of engagement. We want to see this this kind of engagement on all the channels. So that's great. So whenever have you found any of the clients that's been kind of leery about giving you access to their channels or what there? I mean, typically I know we have a pretty good conversation with them up front, but kind of how do they take that whenever we first get started?
They've all been pretty open-minded about it. Once we get past that initial, once they're ready to, they see the value in, because, customers, a lot of 60% of them will, statistically will research stuff on the internet before they even talk to a salesperson. And this is the new, every salesperson out there needs to master social media. They need to get out there and be able to do it. They need to understand it. They need to be able to know how to get their voice out there, to be able to get it. It's not this passing hobby. It's something that needs to become part of your daily routine.
For sure.
And so, getting that out there and getting that exposure, but once we get past that initial stage with customers, they're very open-minded about but we've had some that, they want to make sure, we're meeting some of their ideas, and we have to, develop some, I know it's a cliche, but synergies, and come in and, figure out some of the same stuff to get there, the same, material, same get the content that they're happy with. And sometimes we got to let them understand why we're doing that content, that, hey, by doing this, it's going to get you more engagement. That's why we're here. We understand it, and we can help you get more engagement.
So, I agree with Eric Lovejoy there. He says, I think video will make a person more comfortable on here than a hack. So yeah, we agree. I think video is super important here, especially live, and it puts a face on it. Question from Maxine: what are your thoughts on YouTube? Do you feel you capture the essence of your audience there? So I'll answer that one, Maxine. I think we're still a bit young on YouTube, although we do have a subsidiary channel that we manage from time to time. But the thing about the difference between LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook and things like this, you have to think about YouTube. Take for example, LinkedIn is regressive. So when you put a post out there, typically, you get up to a certain point and your engagement slows down and your click-throughs slow down and things like that slow down. And that's for LinkedIn, that's for Facebook, that's for Instagram. But the YouTube is geared completely different. What YouTube does is YouTube is consistently looking for a audience for your video content. Okay, so it's progressive. It's steadily gaining views versus losing engagement. It's gaining views. So you have to get into and find your right audience. And unfortunately, at this time, we're still working on our correct audience there, but we are working on it. It's not typically somewhere where we focus a lot of time on, because it's we use it more as for hosting our videos than we do actually managing the social media engagement part of YouTube. So I hope that kind of answered the question. At the end of the day, the short answer is no. We are not capturing the essence of our audience.
No,
There's still a lot of work to do with YouTube.
not yet.
Yeah, still a lot of work to do with YouTube, but I think we pretty much got the ringer around everything else. So when you're going through, do you take in when you're working with a client, do they like, what works best for you? Do you typically do they load you up with like tons of content, or, and you sit down and kind of do out your schedule, and, what's kind of your process behind the scenes of, getting all your content out there on a daily basis? Because I know just from my side, when we were started, it seemed to be super hectic, but, and that's one reason why we wanted to work with you, is we needed another hands-on guy there. So, or girl, you're just not as good looking. So, but anyway,
You threw me there.
Yeah.
But it's at the beginning, there is a lot more work, because you're wanting to show them the value of being a thought leader in their industry, and getting content together, because you're starting from scratch, and so you got to develop a lot of things, build memes, build articles they're happy with, and do they have white papers that we can use? Do they have videos of their stuff working, of their equipment, of their services, something we can get out there and get that'll show the value of them, and point potential customers towards them, something that gets them interested in, the grab, something that gets them in there and going. But at the beginning, you got to get all that, and there's a lot more work at the beginning, because you got to get a lot of that stuff. You're starting from scratch, but later on you can repurpose that stuff, reuse it, just depending on the customer, and then as the message matures and improves, you're of course adding new material as you go along.
Do you see a lot of the clients that come along? Do you see them more prepared or less prepared? Or customers? It seems like your typical, whenever we go and say we've sat down with multiple people, our the clients that we work, with obviously weren't kind of in that same caliber, but I know that we've sat down with a lot of people before, and it seemed like even with, their website or their Facebook page or their LinkedIn page or whatever account that they were managing, it seemed like, the content, like they felt like their content was suitable. Like
Right.
they felt their content was engaging with the people that they wanted to engage with.
Right.
And a lot of the fear there is that you're going to overload the news feed. Okay, so there's no rhyme or reason. It's called we say it's inventory. When we start talking about impressions and inventory, you don't know how much inventory that LinkedIn has, and I don't know how much inventory that LinkedIn has, and so we don't know how much information one connected person on LinkedIn sees on their newsfeed a day. So that's not in our wheelhouse of concern. But we do know that if you don't, keep something on their newsfeed for 24 hours, anything from the previous 24 hours, they basically drop off the newsfeed. So we do know that, but do you typically find where they think that their media is better or worse before we come on?
I identify that they don't quite know. They don't understand
Right.
what their media is doing. And what we generally see is people post. You'll see these LinkedIn pages where they've had them for a year and a half, and they're posting every month or every 2 weeks, and they're
Or nothing at all.
or nothing at all, or they're and they're getting 5 to 10 new followers a month, and it just the growth is anemic, so it just takes them and so that's where we're able to come in and kind of turbocharge that and get more people looking at their stuff, more people, more engagement, more exposure. And but generally, I think it's they don't quite grasp until we can come in and explain. Say, look, you're only getting, if you average your past year, you're getting 6 new followers a month. And,
Right. Right.
Why bother?
No, exactly. And sometimes I think it's it's kind of like a flavor of the week. So say when WordPress first came out, and everybody started creating these websites and getting everything on there, and WordPress made it so easy to put that social share option, right? And so you put that social share option in there and you build your channels, and then you never post anything on it.
Right.
But what a lot of people don't understand, a lot of businesses don't understand, is that the whenever you put content on these platforms, it adds to your search results, and so it creates, the web crawler finds that content just like it finds everything else. And so it depends on if you specialize in video, photo, or whatever kind of content that you specialize in. A lot of times if you're doing video and people use Google as the search tool, I mean, there's everybody in the world either use Google or Bing, but when you're doing video and you're putting video out there, well, YouTube's gonna, if you're putting it on YouTube, you're gonna rank on the YouTube search somehow. Well, Google's attached to YouTube, so Google's gonna rank that video as well. And if you work on your keywords, you can work on 6 or 7 keywords, then you can hit the search all the way across all 3. You can hit the text search, you can hit the video search with YouTube, and you can hit the rankings. So it is a special combination that people should understand about actually managing, that from day to day. So I mean, you can say, oh, well, that's great, I posted something on there a month ago. I think if I post something on there, a monthly company update, I think I'm doing my job. That's not it, right? So we see with COVID-19 how much business was being done online, tons of business being done online. And so there's there's a couple of our clients that we work with that we did nothing but online work with. So we haven't been able to meet them face to face because of COVID-19.
Right.
And some of the travel restrictions. So yeah, it is important for you to keep your business out there and keep it hot every day on the newsfeed.
Yeah, to stay in front of people, to to be the thought leader in your industry, so people come to you as a source. They when they think of your product or service, you're the person that pops up in their mind.
Right.
You've already been educating them. You're part of that 60%. You've appealed to that 60% that's going to do their research online. They're going to look for other people's opinions, their reviews of your product or service, before they talk to a salesperson. And so people have to strive to be that leader out there, that thought leader out there in social media, to get it out there.
So what made you interested in social media anyway, Tom, other than Rig Lynx looked like it was cool? What kind of got you actually interested in this? Because it's not okay. So for everybody that's listening and everybody watching, Tom and I did we sat down with a client that's been a long time ago, and for the benefits of everybody out there that's been in the oil and gas industry for multiple years. I myself have been in for 26 years. Tom's been in for almost the same amount of time, and so we're not new kids on the block by any means. And when you go to some of these prospective clients and you're sitting down and having these conversations, I remember one time in particular, nice office, nice setup, nice shop. I mean, you can tell the company and the guys that were putting everything together there were doing a fantastic job. I mean, the floors. It was actually, if I had a shop, Tom, that'd be the shop I wanted.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, you walk down the hallway of this shop, and this, I can't even remember how many patents they had on the wall. He must have had 40 patents on the wall, or 50 patents on the wall. So I felt myself being a little oil field envious when you go into a place like that. And so, but you could tell there was a lot of love and a lot of time put into what he was doing. And we went up there and sat down and was gonna have a conversation. And I say gonna because it didn't last very long.
Mm-hmm.
But we were told, Tom and I was told that we were too old to be doing this business. So I felt, and being a rig manager and being the obviously the guy that's going to, try to find a solution to the problem, there was no solution to be found for that particular problem at that time. So
yeah,
we're very so, I was thinking to myself, but it was, I said, okay, well, your first your first approach to a client or to a prospective client is always going to be your best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
And what better looking group of two guys to come through your door with, than me and Tom, which obviously is not the case, but at the end of the day, the product that we were going to show him was going to drive more business to him through online traffic. And for people out there that are listening that have brick and mortar business, that do local clientele, that sell a lot of, a very specific niche products to people, it's very important for you to have an online presence, because you never know where that next customer is going to come from. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to sit down and have stop in for a coffee and a donut or or anything, a tea or whatever you're going to have, and meet somebody from the industry or meet somebody that's interested potentially in your product. But the online traffic, when you get online traffic, they're looking for something. Typically, you're in a whole different generation of people where they're going to be looking for something online. And so your reputation, or not your reputation, but your, your revenue streams that you've been creating over the last, 20 to 30 years typically are not linear with online traffic. And what I mean by that is that, your reputation gained you a lot of those contracts, your reputation, your product. And so your new business should be built around ways to expand your brand visibility and the reach of your company, not on your reputation or your product's reputation. That'll prove itself. That once someone starts to look at your product, and once someone starts to, test your product, or, typically in what we do is we take stuff for, 30, 60, 90 days, give it a run. And if we don't like it, we give them their comments. We've tested multiple, pump parts, and even Tom from the water maker side of the business, we've, tested out filters and everything else. And I mean, it's a prove yourself industry for sure. But to have a part, to have the part, have your company or be based and have a very nice product and not have an online visibility, you're doing yourself an injustice.
Yeah, that's just unused real estate that's available to you. You could be out there, someone carrying the flag for you, getting you in front of the right people, and we're able to get, small, medium companies in front of a lot more people than they can in the oil and gas industry than they can on their own. So,
well, I mean, it's for a lot of people, it's about it's typically the unknown here. We've never been a good industry about, branching out and looking for additional exposure. We stay in our lane. We don't jump in and out of the lane. Whenever we move from, company to company, there's a reason that we end service with someone and move to another provider. Typically, it's not because the other company did good service. Typically, it's because of price, first of all. Second of all, is because of service.
mm-hmm.
So, in the online visibility part of it, you can own your your strategy and how you do your online visibility. So, those time frames, you have a 24-hour rotating planet here, and so where these time zones are at. When you can post media, so when you can hit those target areas to where you want to influence people in different regions and different markets to look at your product. It doesn't do any good for you to post something at 8 a.m. Houston time, whenever you're wanting somebody in Australia to see your product. It doesn't it doesn't work, does it?
Nope. No. Best to do it when find the ultimate times for the local time and plug it into the aggregator and make sure it pops up at the right time.
Yeah, Eric, I definitely agree with your comment. I think a person looking for work with a media like link, you find something you're interested in and then you refresh it and you can't find it again. Typically it's in your, a lot of times if you use the screen capture function, a lot of times on your phone, if you just grab it like that, a lot of times you can either use that. If you're on PC, you can use your screen clip on your PC. But yeah, I do. It's the same way with us. And the one thing I do know is that if you hang around just a little while, Google will show you whatever that was again on an advertisement just moments later. So Google will show you what you were looking at. So, well, Tom, it's been good. I think we will end the broadcast here, and we'll go check the videos out and see how everything turned out. But I think what's that? You got a question?
I've been watching them.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, so everything is going to kick off here in the morning for everybody that that was on and it's still on. We start our live career fair event at 6:30 tomorrow morning, and we'll be kicking off with Mr. H.J. Go from Connect Energy, and then we'll be moving on into Mr. Donnie Bowman with Ascendancy Services. Then we'll move into Brunel in Dubai. We'll be going with Miss Jess Brassington with the agency group. Then over to West Africa with ICS Industrial. And then we'll come back on this side to the U.S. to Walker Elliott and Puglicevic. So we're gonna have a full day tomorrow. So it'll be running from 6:45 until 11:30 CST time. So everybody dial back in tomorrow. We should have a good time. Feel free to throw any extra comments in here, and we will try to get back to that as soon as we can.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Everybody online say goodbye to the bald man.
Boa noite.
Everybody have a good night. Bye.